Hello everyone, my name's Nisha and I am the YogicAmnesiac. There is a crazy amount of studies out there that have proved or shown how yoga can help boost your self-esteem, but rather than reading all these really complicated studies, I'm going to try to break it down for you a little bit more simply and maybe help you figure out why doing yoga to help improve your self-esteem is actually a good idea. I've seen these effects firsthand, experienced them, and I think it's totally viable to use yoga as a way to help yourself have higher self-esteem or improved self-esteem. So with that being said, let's get started. There are so many things that can cause low self-esteem or that can just make it start to snowball out of control and make you feel really bad about yourself. And if you're not having that moment to take care of yourself, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, honestly. There's sometimes nothing you can do, or you feel like there's nothing you can do. But I feel like if you have that opportunity to do just a couple minutes of yoga here and there, that can make a huge difference in your life and in your self-esteem. One of the biggest things that almost all yoga instructors try to stress, and I really do try to stress as well, especially in all of my videos, is that it's okay to not be perfect, because literally no one's perfect. I always try to emphasize this with poses where you'll feel like you're not looking right, but if you start to try to force your body to do things, it's actually bad for you. So if your pose isn't looking right, that's okay, and it's just one way to start accepting your imperfections and realizing that they might not even be imperfections or as bad as you even think they are. This works for superficial things as well. You start to learn that the way things look in your body and all sorts of things like that are totally normal and okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. One thing I really love about yoga is that we also cultivate a super non-competitive atmosphere. Your yoga practice is your own, and it does not matter what the person on the right, to the left, in front of you, or on the video is doing. It's all about yourself and improving upon yourself or attaining goals. This is a state of mind that can be really hard at first, especially for novices. You may find yourself feeling like, I'm not as flexible as this person, I'm not as strong as this person, I don't look like this person, and that's okay, and it will just take time to get over, and as you practice more and more, you'll find that you think what's going on in your own body is way more important than what's going on in the other person's body. Also, as you practice, you begin to learn that a lot of people have gone through the exact same struggles as you, or very similar struggles, and the person who's way more advanced than you has been through their own share of struggles as well. Yoga is also a really good time to stop thinking and overthinking about things. This works for all sorts of things, even just stress or normal everyday thoughts that you want to get out of your head. But self-esteem is usually based off of things like stress that'll just gnaw away at you and sit in your head whenever you look at yourself or think about something, and they'll just sit there. So yoga will let you let go of these thoughts and say that it's okay, and you might even just acknowledge them and recognize you might have a flaw, or you might just say, why is that even a problem, and forget about it altogether. Even if low self-esteem kind of bothers you outside of your yoga practice, or you find yourself thinking about it a lot, it's still really important to have these little moments of low stress, not thinking about it and everything like that. So the fact that you just don't think about it for however long your yoga practices will also help you. Yoga forces you to interact with your body in ways that most other exercises don't. A lot of things have very repetitive actions, and they're actions which are considered much more normal. Like a runner and running, most of the time you might be worried that your form isn't right or that you're not running as fast as you are, but you're not forced to do these weird interactions with your bodies that are totally out there and you've never thought to do before. My favorite example of this is happy baby pose. It's pretty crazy. It's a weird pose. You feel like you're totally vulnerable and exposed, and it kind of forces you to really get into that pose and accept that it's okay. And half the time when you see this going on in a class, everyone's giggling, everyone's having a really fun time. So it also shows you that not only are you interacting with your body and learning about your body and learning that these weird things are okay, but everyone else thinks it's okay too, and you can have a really fun time just laughing off all this weirdness. I've also definitely noticed in a class when you end up doing really hard positions or really weird positions and everyone's giggling and having a good time, it opens up a really nice atmosphere around you, which brings me to the community in general. Like I said earlier, Yoga is super non-competitive, and generally speaking, people are not going to be comparing themselves to you or you to themselves, and especially not doing it intentionally. They might be curious about your practice, where you are in your practice, but they're not making a one-to-one where am I, where are they ratio, or even feeling like they're better than you in any way. The yoga community is also so welcoming. People are so excited to share their practices with you, share what they've learned. They want to hear about what you're doing, your struggles. It's a really, really warm community. So if you have self-esteem issues, you can always open up to these people and they'll help you and listen to you, and you guys can have a great time working over these things together. On top of all of that, the yoga community is crazy diverse. Do not believe what you see on the internet. The internet projects this image of typically attractive, conventionally attractive people doing yoga, all looking for the same things. It's totally different from that. If you walk into a class, you are bound to see a million different body types. Every single time you go into a class, you'll see someone different. You'll see teachers with different body types, and you'll even see people with different goals, different achievements, where they want to go, why they're doing yoga. So for your sake, you might be doing it for self-esteem, and someone else might be doing it for fitness, and another person has another goal. So it's a cool community, and everyone is looking for something different, and we're all trying to do it together. A lot of self-esteem issues stem from things like feeling like you're overweight, you're too chubby, you're too fat, or maybe you just want to be more toned. You might be naturally thin and you feel like you're not thin enough even, or you feel like you want more muscle. Yoga is a form of exercise, so you will put on a little bit of muscle, tone out a bit, and you can even lose weight. On top of that, there's like diets and all sorts of lifestyles that go along with yoga. So if you even go further and start joining a sort of yogic lifestyle, you could lead an even healthier life if it works for you, obviously. So if you think that losing weight or getting toned is going to help you improve your self-esteem, or for whatever reason you want to do that, then yoga is totally for you too. It's not only a body acceptance movement, but it is also a way to change things about yourself if that's what you want. Another thing about the community that really ties into this is you can be a bigger bodied person, be curvier, have a little bit more fat than other people in your class, and no one's gonna care, and you're going to start feeling way better about yourself, maybe even before you start losing weight or changing how your body looks. One thing I love about yoga is that it teaches you that there's more than just superficial things about fitness. You can be crazy strong and have very little muscle definition and flexibility and have a ton of muscle definition. So it varies from person to person, and just because you don't look it, you could still be extremely strong. This is a good time to mention that things like six packs, having very defined pecs, a lot of muscular definition comes with a lot of diet and exercise, and it's more superficial than it is strength. So if you don't have highly defined abs, that doesn't mean that a person with six packs has more muscle than you. It just means they have more definition. There's literally no way to tell if someone's stronger than someone else purely by looking at how defined their muscles are. Lastly, and this is my favorite point, and I am willing to elaborate on this in a different video, but yoga helps to combat things like anxiety and depression, which are oftentimes root causes for low self-esteem. If you've ever felt super depressed or ever felt any sort of depression or anxiety, you'll probably know that self-esteem and depression or anxiety or any mental health issue can be super connected, if not even one in the same. So if you think about it, if you're lifting yourself up out of depression, your self-esteem is going to get dragged up with your depression. As you start to feel better, your self-esteem will get boosted as well, just because they're so connected. It's the same thing with anxiety. Anxiety causes a lot of worries, and so you may worry about things about your body or your insides that people can't even see, your personality. And as that starts to calm down and level out, your worries will calm down and your self-esteem will come back to a nice level ground, and you'll start to be able to feel a lot better about yourself. It also works the reverse. Depression and anxieties can be caused by low self-esteem, so as you lift your self-esteem up, those two will even out and come to a nice level ground, and you'll start to be able to feel better about yourself because your self-esteem is higher and you know you're worth more. So that's all I have for you guys today. There are a ton of studies out there. If you want to read more, you can honestly Google yoga and low self-esteem or yoga and self-esteem, and you will find scientific studies, not just articles and whatnot. But there are also really good articles out there, so if you don't want to read a full scientific study, there are still easier articles out there to read as well. So if you guys liked this video and you want to hear more about things like yoga and mental health issues like depression and anxiety, I'm super happy to do videos on them. I'd probably do depression and anxiety in separate videos because they definitely deserve their own pretty long videos each, to be honest. I feel like I know a decent amount about these, a lot of it personal experience from friends, but also just from my training and things that I've learned, and I did write a paper on this stuff, so I learned quite a bit, and I have read real scientific studies about it, so I can help out. I'm not a psychologist though, so obviously I can't do that. I will say though, if you do find you struggle with self-esteem and you want to use yoga as a way to help you, I absolutely encourage it, and totally leave a comment down below if you're interested or you want more tips. But also, yoga tends to work the best when you also work with therapy or other forms of ways to help yourself feel better or mental health treatments. So yoga in conjunction with things is crazy successful. So definitely look into that if you are interested in combating a mental health issue or anything like that in conjunction with yoga. Alright, so like I said, leave a comment down below if you liked this video, if you have questions, if you want to hear more about yoga and mental health. I think it's super interesting, so I'm so happy to answer questions or talk about it or even do more research and come back to you guys with even more information. Don't forget to like this video. It really helps me out, lets me know that you like what you're seeing, and it helps me know that I should continue making what I'm doing. And don't forget to subscribe. It's the best way for YouTube to let you know if I've released any new videos.